So what's up and welcome to today's video. So I'm about to look out for the younger guys on the channel right now. So today's video is going to be things every guy should stop doing before the age of 21.
I know it's gonna hurt, but you're worth fighting for.
So point number one is to stop being dependent on other people. We are in a society right now where so many different people from across the globe are dependent on other people, whether that's the government, whether it's society, whether it's corporations, whether it's employers, whether it's friends and family. Whatever it is, we're always dependent on other people. We're always searching on the outside, looking for advice, looking for information, looking for all these different things in the hope that it helps us, instead of taking, the initiative, taking a step back, being independent for ourselves and making our own choices. That's why society is a matrix right now. Everyone is going down the same system. If you have two paths, everyone is going down the left system, right? The school system, college, uni, corporate job, work your way up the ladder. You have that hope in mind that when you get to retire, you get a pension, you get all these things paid off, but it's just limiting. It's just a limiting way of thinking. Whereas if you go down this path, you raise that independence, you get that independence for yourself. You can, there are no limits to what you can take, whether that's start a business, whether that's, start a hobby and then monetize that, whether it's whatever way you want to take that way. At least you're thinking for yourself and living life on your terms instead of following the next person and the next person. Because it's just, honestly, the way I see it is that society is just the blind leading the blind, right? The person in front of you does not know where to go, does not know what they're doing in life, but then you follow that person and then it's just a big compound effect. You look around you in the neighborhood, the majority of people are just going through the exact same route, but then no one starts to think for themselves, question things, question systems in place, question all these things. Get on so many tangents, man. So the moral of that story is to stop, following the crowd, stop following everything you believe in, focus on being yourself, focus on being your own person in the world where we have so many sheep. Focus on being yourself, becoming independent and make your own choices in life, because that's how you're going to get ahead and that's how you're going to maintain that for the long term and live your own happiness, have your own success, kind of things like that. So it's very, very important, and it's an important point for me to mention that as well. So point number is to stop making excuses. The amount of people that I say making excuses on a day-to-day basis is insane. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's starting a YouTube channel, whether it's learning how to trade, whether it's becoming fit and healthy, whatever it is, there's so many excuses around, and typical, human nature is we're lazy. If you look at the entire population, we are lazy compared to what we should be, and that's just generations and generations passing down. But if you're independent for yourself, if you're actually motivated and you want to better yourself, you're not that person that makes excuses. You're not that person who is sat in a corner, not bettering themselves, not improving themselves, not improving their all aspects of life. You need to stop making excuses. So if you are that person right now where you are lazy, you do make excuses, take a step back, look at yourself, analyze things from a broader perspective, and then stop making excuses. Go forward from this point, stop making excuses. Becoming independent for yourself is such a key but simple point, but many people need to do it. Like I said before, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to start learning how to trade, whether you want to start a YouTube channel, become fit and healthy, go to the gym, whatever it is, we're always making excuses. You could say, okay, well, I don't have enough money to start a business, right? This just actually come into my head right now, but I knew a girl 2-3 years ago who started a business. I think it was, don't quote me on this, but I think it was below £10 in the UK. She flipped that over the course of 2 years into £10,000, right? How did she do that? Well, simple. She thought outside the box. She went into a store, right? Bought a ton of different stock, as much as you could get for £5 or £10. I'm not sure how much it was. And then she flipped that, reinvested the business, made a profit on that, got more stock, same pattern over and over again, flip that into £10,000 over the course of 2 years, right? That alone, starting from £5 to £10 in the UK, which is not a lot of money to start a business with, should give you the confidence that if you have no money, you can still succeed. It's just honestly, as cliche as it sounds, it's your mindset and it's your perseverance and it's your ability to become independent for yourself and think outside the box. That's what's going to get you to where you want to get to, not the money, not the resources. You can make that for yourself. Same with starting a YouTube channel. You could be with a YouTube channel, you could say, you know what, I want to start this, I want to start that, but it's never going to happen because you continuously make excuses. Where if you recognize that You know, you have a phone, you have a camera on your phone. Very likely if you're watching this video, start filming. When I started YouTube, I started filming on a phone. You know, we have incredible phones right now, arguably better than this camera. Like, it's so key that you can just start from anything. Trading, you could say, you know, there's no resources online, there's no free resources online. Again, I don't have enough money. There's so many free resources online to kind of learn, build a skill. So eventually when you do have the money, you can then learn how to trade. It's pretty simple, but when you're around people that make excuses, you're likely going to make excuses. So make sure you filter out your inner circle, which is what we're going to get into in a minute as well, and stop making excuses, because it's not going to better your life. Number 3 on my list today is to stop relying on parents. So for right now, for myself, I'm currently in my parents' house. I'm 22 years old, looking to move out in the next year. Hopefully, if things go well and if I can, you know, scale trading and things like that, that's the plan of action for me. But for myself, even though I'm in this situation, I'm still very, very independent for myself. I've been paying, you know, rent, different bills, car insurance, tax, all these different things, food, since I was 18 years old, and, you know, slowly start to pay for more and more stuff as I start to age. That's been something that I've had since I was 18, been independent for myself, started paying stuff for myself, become independent and not rely on my parents for certain things. I can be quite happily right now, you know, not paying board, not paying rent, not paying food bills, all that, but it doesn't teach you anything. It doesn't give you a taste of what it's going to be like when you're fully living by yourself or with your partner, whatever it is. It's not going to give you a taste of that, and then when that does happen in the future, that's going to be a massive shock. So you putting that in place right now, it may seem like a bad thing to do because it's more expensive, especially if you are below the age of 21, but it's going to teach you so many good habits to then build into your early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, that you carry through until you earn the income that you want to earn, right? So that's so key. So think about that, especially if you are chasing towards goals, towards dreams. That's kind of being frowned upon. You're told to become, you know, go down that safe route of the corporate system. By you paying for everything, you take that control back in your own hands. Gary Vee talked about this so much. It's so important that you do that, you think about that for yourself, and then you apply that into your own life. So hopefully that helps. That's a big point, and that's a simple point, but it's very important. Point number 4. So many people aren't going to like this, but you need to stop chasing girls. Now, this is going to resonate with a lot of people. So many people are caught up into investing so much time, so much energy into chasing girls, right? So your time, your energy is spent into messaging girls, texting, you know, it's the exact same thing, phoning, you know, scrolling on Tinder, meeting them in person, whatever it is. You have so much time, so much energy invested into that when you haven't even got all the foundation set up for your entire life. Have you got income stream set up? Have you got a good foundation for health and wellness? Have you got things in place financially? Like, have you got all this stuff settled before you start investing your time and energy into a partner or a girl? Probably not, right? If you haven't, then you need to start questioning stuff. You need to start investing in yourself first. Start to read books, start to listen to podcasts, start to develop yourself as a person, your business, start to scale different areas of life before you then get into that game. There's no point you get into that game and bringing 0 to the table, right? 0 to the table in a relationship. If you've got no money, you're broke, you haven't got a good foundation set, you're still working through mental problems yourself, all these kind of different things, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. So make sure you get a very good foundation set for yourself first before you then go down that path. And the thing with this as well is that in the beginning stages, if you don't have anything, you're the one chasing the girls, right? But then if you've got a good foundation, you've got multiple different income streams, you've got all areas of your life satisfied, if they're a good valuable area, then you have a lot more value to bring. Therefore, you're going to be more attractable to girls and more of an asset to them. So they're suddenly going to change you. The entire system just flips on its head and it goes the other way around. So something to think about. Make sure you've got your foundation set before you invest into that space, because this is a system that I see so many of my friends from high school get caught up into, and it's just a spiral that goes on for years and years and years before you've even got a good foundation for yourself. So make sure you get your priorities straight, make sure you put that in place before you then get caught up in the system. The next point on my list is to stop hanging around with negative people. Negative people have a powerful energy to bring you down and to drain you. If you notice the next time you spend time with negative people, or you may have done it in the past, whether that's, you know, you're quite young probably watching this video, so whether that's at parties, whether that's at group gatherings, whether that's, you know, a different event, whatever it is, if you're around negative people, maybe in school, maybe in college, they drain your energy. So if you're, positive coming into the day ahead, you spend time with those people, you're likely you're gonna feel that negative, that drop in energy, just because you're surrounded by those types of people. The conversation is usually quite limiting, quite. It can be good conversation, don't get me wrong as well. I'm not dropping that, but at the same time, it's very low level thinking compared to where you want to be, especially if you are trying to work on yourself and trying to better yourself into a better human being. So it's important to drop that negative energy. If you are in that circle, I'm not saying cut off that energy. It's important from my aspect that you be aware of it and cut out any toxic energy that are really holding you back if you need to. But at the same time, spend more time with positive people. Invest into bigger and better circles that are going to help you grow as a person, that actually give you, that actually try to fill your cup up versus trying to take it away. This can be in two forms. So this can be in either friendship groups, or this can either be in relationships with a partner. Whatever form it is, you need to pick up your bags and leave if they are toxic, if they are negative towards you and your growth and where you want to be. If they're trying to hold you back in any way, you need to let that go. You need to sit them down, talk to them first. If that doesn't work, you need to be willing to let them go. It's just a sacrifice. I talked about this in a previous video. It's a subject that people don't want to talk about, yet it's so important to your growth, to where you want to be, especially if you are trying to better yourself and better your life. So something to think about and something to really think about. So the last point I want to mention is important. So this is stop trying to fit in, especially if you're at school or college or uni. This is a natural thing. People are just sheep. They just follow each other. If people look up to a certain person as the alpha or the leader, they will naturally just follow suit, right? With the same clothes, with the same style, with the same language patterns. They will follow that person, forever. They will just follow that person until they leave college, until they leave uni, and then that cycle will just repeat down life until they take a step back and be their complete selves and become independent for themselves. We're in a matrix society right now where 99% of the population doesn't even know what's going on with the bigger system. If you think of it like a two paths, I think I've explained this before, but if you're going down that path where it's the blind leading the blind, in all honesty, it sounds harsh, but if you're following the person in front of you, that person doesn't even know where they're going. They haven't got life figured out. They haven't got all these good things in place. They haven't even got stuff figured out, yet you're following them, yet you're taking advice from that same person. Would you take fitness advice from someone who hasn't got their fitness in order or their health in order? Would you take business advice from someone who hasn't got a clear business set up? It's the same concept here. It's the blind leading the blind, and it's a filtering system. It's like Chinese whispers, right? Whereas if you go down that path, you go against the grain, you stop trying to fit in and you think for yourself. That is important. That is important because you have your power back. You make decisions based on you, and you don't try and follow, the style of clothing people wear. Like I used to do it back in school, like the last year of school. I remember I subconsciously tried to fit in a little bit. Why? I have no idea. It's that, you're constantly thinking about what other people think of you. You don't need to do that. Stop trying to fit in, become your own individual, and then use that for the future. Because if you're someone else, there's only a certain amount of potential you're going to reach. So you need to let that go, release those reins and just be your own person. It's honestly the truth. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video with the topics covered throughout this. So make sure you give this video a like, you subscribe, stay notified for new videos coming on this channel very, very shortly. This video was inspired by the video that I did a few videos ago based on 4 life lessons to give to my younger self. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. We talk about some of the things that I've been in today, and it's very, very important. So don't take this lightly. Think about things for yourself. And I'm really trying to pay this forward for people before the age of 21 and even afterwards. This advice can be applied throughout all areas of life. So the truth is that if you're 21, if you're 36, if you're 45, it can still be used to some effect. So make sure you take this into consideration. Make sure you think about this and start to apply this into your own life. So hopefully that helps. Catch you all in the next video. Speak to you all very, very soon.
With